Dive 776 on the Kensho Maru in Truk Lagoon. This was the final dive of a weeks-long liveaboard on the Truk Odyssey in March 2025. We started the dive by descending midships and then entered into the skylights just behind the main bridge, where we got to this multi-leveled room here, which eventually leads down into the engine room. Some large tanks there, potentially water storage tanks, and here we have the top of some of the electrical equipment. On the right there you'll see a staircase, which we ended up coming out of later on in the dive. Past another of these large tanks here, and then headed down the staircase to one of the deeper levels. Down into the wreck we have this electrical panel, lots of switches, different electrical components all over it. You can see it going there to the distance. And on the right here, a workbench with various fuses that are part of electronics. Some visible gears here. And some more valves on the back wall. We then headed down a further staircase and came to this very well preserved panel here. A couple more, some gauges, some switches. And this circular bit of metal with an open door where you can see some of the workings inside it. The panel's starting to rot away as well. Here we are in the machine room, so you can see all the spanners lined up along the wall, the various sizes. Some more gauges there, a lot of them have decayed into black. And more valves. And some further electrical components, these large switches along the top of the screen there. A bit of wood with a hole in it there, not exactly sure what that would be used for. And here we have a closer view of the spanners. A further switch there, and someone's placed a bottle in the background. And then one of the most intact electrical panels. Lots of switches, valves, and in a second we will pan up and you can see the breakers right at the top. And then past this fuse board, you can still see the fuses in place with the glass there, both on the right and left hand side. We then exited up the 2 levels of staircase to get back into this room we started in before exiting out the skylights. A final look at one of the tanks there, and then the next shot we are outside the wreck and heading towards the stern. Here we have one of the rear holds. This was hold number 4. We have the king posts there silhouetted. Visibility wasn't that great outside the ship here. Here we've got the remains of one of the water pumps. And the hoses snaking their way back to the remainder of the wreck. Lots of pipes here on the bottom of the hold. This is all collapsed a bit. And there you can see on the beam some Wellington boots, which you get a closer shot of here. Here we have some air cylinders and some firefighting equipment. So that's what all the sort of hoses draped over everything is for. And here is more of the firefighting equipment. Small school of Cardinalfish there. These were all in the 2 rear holds, which we're about to exit our way out of the open top, back to the deck level, and then we finish off the dive having a look at the stern castle there in front of us, and in a second we'll go right to the back. You can see some damage to the stern there.